You've probably seen images of Terrell Davis dominating on the field, then suddenly hobbling on crutches, and wondered what went so wrong. The truth is, his story isn't just about tragedy. It's about a sixth-round draft pick who became an MVP, a Super Bowl champion, and ultimately a Hall of Famer whose brief brilliance changed how we measure greatness forever. It all started in 1995 when the Denver Broncos selected Davis with the 196th pick overall. Nobody expected much from him. He was so low on the depth chart that he seriously considered quitting football before a preseason game in Tokyo. He felt his dream was already over before it even started. But then something incredible happened during that game. While struggling to get offensive reps, Davis redirected his frustration towards special teams. He delivered what his teammates would later call a legendary crushing hit. That single moment changed everything. His teammates immediately started begging coaches to give the rookie a real chance to carry the ball. They saw something special in his toughness and determination. That hit didn't just save his roster spot. It became the foundation of trust that would launch one of the most dominant stretches any running back has ever experienced. From 1996 to 1998, Davis transformed into an unstoppable force. He earned 3 straight first-team All-Pro selections and 3 straight Pro Bowl appearances. He won NFL Offensive Player of the Year twice, but 1998 was when he reached his absolute peak. That season, he rushed for 2,008 yards, becoming only the 4th player in NFL history to break the 2,000-yard barrier. He also led the league with 21 rushing touchdowns. For that performance, he won the NFL Most Valuable Player award. His dominance wasn't limited to the regular season either. He holds the NFL record for most rushing touchdowns in a single postseason, with 8 during the 1997 playoffs. He also set a record for consecutive playoff games with 100 or more rushing yards, achieving this incredible feat in 7 straight games across the 1997 and 1998 playoffs. If you're enjoying this journey through one of football's most remarkable stories, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling us which NFL player's career you'd like us to cover next. Your suggestions help us create content you actually want to watch. Those playoff performances helped lead the Broncos to back-to-back Super Bowl championships. In Super Bowl 58 against the Green Bay Packers, Davis put on a performance that defined his legacy. He rushed for 157 yards on 30 carries and scored 3 rushing touchdowns, including the go-ahead score with just 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter. He won the Super Bowl MVP award for that performance. What makes this achievement even more remarkable is what most people don't know. Davis played through a debilitating migraine during that game that left him partially blind at times. He since admitted that under today's strict concussion protocols, he would have been removed from the field, which could have changed everything about that game and his legacy. Then came Week 4 of the 1999 season against the New York Jets. The reigning MVP was about to have his career destroyed in the cruelest way imaginable. Davis didn't get injured while running the ball or taking a hard hit in his role as the offense's centerpiece. Instead, he was trying to tackle a Jets defender after his quarterback threw an interception. It was a selfless play outside his core responsibilities, and it cost him everything. Medical exams revealed devastating damage to his right knee. He had torn both his anterior cruciate ligament and his medial collateral ligament, plus torn cartilage. The injury required immediate surgery and 6 months of intense rehabilitation. His 1999 season was instantly over. The Broncos, who had just won consecutive Super Bowls with Davis as their engine, suddenly found themselves struggling without him. They even considered changing quarterbacks because the entire offense had collapsed without their MVP running back. Davis tried to come back, but his body kept breaking down. Over his final 3 seasons from 1999 to 2001, he only managed to play 17 total games compared to the 68 games he played during his first 4 years. His 2000 season was plagued by more complications. He severely sprained his left ankle and foot in the season opener. Then he started experiencing mysterious pain above his ankle that forced him to miss more games. The public reaction was harsh. Fans and media members questioned his dedication and accused him of being soft or faking his injuries. But medical tests eventually proved what Davis had been saying all along. Doctors found a stress reaction in his lower left leg, an inflammation of the bone lining that could have developed into a serious stress fracture if he kept playing through it. The diagnosis provided vindication, confirming that his pain was real and serious. His final season in 2001 showed glimpses of what could have been. He only played 8 games but averaged a solid 87.6 rushing yards per game with 2 100-yard performances. If he had maintained that pace over a full 16-game schedule, he would have rushed for about 1,400 yards. That's still a productive season by any standard, but there was one telling statistic that revealed what he had truly lost. Despite averaging nearly 88 yards per game, Davis did not score a single rushing touchdown all season. Not one. This wasn't just bad luck. It showed that while his vision, strength, and ability to gain yards between the 20-yard lines remained functional, He had permanently lost the explosive short area quickness and lateral agility needed to punch it in at the goal line. That burst, that ability to make defenders miss in tight spaces, was gone forever. It's a common permanent effect of severe knee ligament damage in running backs. His body simply couldn't handle the workload anymore. In 2002, at just 29 years old, Terrell Davis was forced to retire. The debate over his Hall of Fame credentials lasted a full decade. He became eligible in 2007, but voters struggled to reconcile his spectacular achievements with his limited career. One side argued that quality mattered more than quantity. Davis was the 1998 NFL MVP and Super Bowl XWASWORT MVP. Those are elite honors, regardless of how long someone plays. His 3 first-team All-Pro selections and his spot on the NFL 1990s All-Decade team proved he was the best running back of his era during his peak years. His postseason records for most rushing touchdowns in a playoff run and consecutive 100-yard playoff games showed he performed best when the pressure was highest. This completely countered the argument that he was just a system back who benefited from a great offensive line. The opposing argument focused on career volume. Davis finished with 707 total rushing yards on 1,655 attempts. Compare that to other Hall of Fame running backs, and the difference is stark. Marcus Allen played 16 seasons and accumulated 12,243 yards on 3,022 attempts. Even Jim Brown, who is often used as an example of a short but brilliant career, played 9 seasons with 359 rushing attempts. Davis had barely over half that workload. For traditional voters who valued longevity and cumulative statistics, his numbers just didn't measure up to Hall of Fame standards. Before we continue, if you're finding this story as compelling as we do, make sure to leave a comment about whether you think peak performance or career longevity matters more for Hall of Fame consideration. We love hearing different perspectives from you. Finally, in 2017, 10 years after becoming eligible, Terrell Davis was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. His induction established an important precedent. The voters validated that for the running back position, which has the shortest shelf life and highest injury risk of any position in football, achieving singular historical milestones like MVP awards, 2,000-yard seasons, and Super Bowl MVP trophies within a condensed period can be sufficient for the highest honor. They recognize that true positional dominance, even when brief, can define an entire generation and deserves recognition. Davis's case essentially formalized a new standard that acknowledged the physical reality of modern football. Running backs simply can't be held to the same longevity standards as quarterbacks or other positions with longer career spans. Today, at 52 years old, Davis has successfully transitioned to life after football. He joined the NFL Network in 2009 and currently works as an analyst on various programs, including NFL Total Access. He's also become an entrepreneur, launching DeFi Performance Drink, a recovery product that he credits with helping him bounce back from tough workouts. This business venture makes perfect sense given his history of injuries and rehabilitation. He remains deeply connected to the Denver community through philanthropic work. He's an ambassador for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America and has even been inducted into their Hall of Fame. Most significantly, he's partnered with the Center for African American Health, working to improve health outcomes in the African American community in Metro Denver through disease prevention and management programs. Davis has also become a vocal advocate for player safety, particularly regarding brain health. He openly admits he's scared about chronic traumatic encephalopathy, the degenerative brain disease linked to repeated head trauma. He questions whether his occasional forgetfulness is just normal aging or a consequence of playing football in an era with less protection. His experience playing through that migraine and Super Bowl Astweithurst gives him unique perspective. He acknowledges that today's concussion protocols would have pulled him from that game, possibly changing the outcome and his legacy. Despite these concerns and his own career-ending injuries, Davis says he would allow his children to play football today. He points to significant rule changes, faster concussion identification, and improved tackling techniques being taught at every level from youth leagues to the pros as evidence that the game has become much safer. The story of Terrell Davis is ultimately about the nature of greatness itself. He didn't have the longest career or the biggest volume statistics. What he had was 4 years of absolute dominance that few running backs in history have ever matched. He went from nearly quitting as a 6th-round pick to becoming league MVP within 3 years. He rushed for over 2,000 yards in a season and dominated the playoffs like no one before him. Then, in a cruel twist of fate, a selfless tackle on a play outside his normal duties destroyed his knee and ended it all. His career became a case study in how quickly everything can change in professional sports. One moment, you're the best player in the league, carrying your team to championships. The next moment, you're fighting just to stay on the field, watching your abilities slip away despite every effort to hold on to them. His struggles with recurring injuries after that initial knee damage showed just how fragile even the strongest athletes can be. But his legacy wasn't defined by how it ended. It was defined by how brightly he burned during those peak years. His Hall of Fame induction confirmed what many already knew. Sometimes intensity matters more than duration. Sometimes 4 years of brilliance is enough to change the game forever. Terrell Davis proved that you don't need a decade of production to be considered one of the greatest. You just need to be unstoppable when it matters most. And for those 4 magical seasons in Denver, nobody was more unstoppable than Terrell Davis.